Greetings. Have you ever wondered why technology messes with us so much? I decided it was time to think better about the audio quality of some of my videos. I have a Logitech C310. I've had it for a long time. Matter of fact, I had two of them, and then I lost one somewhere out of town, so I only have one now. That's a shame, but I have one. And sometimes the audio quality I'm just not so sure about. A lot of times I start recording a video and the thing tells me, hey, we can't hear you at all. And I'm like, well, geez, you know what? I'm using a webcam. It's way over there. So I thought about buying a microphone. So I went out and I bought a microphone. And this is it. It's called the Blue Ice Snowball. And it was recommended. I went to Staples and the guy said, this is the most recommended microphone that we have. I talked to a couple of friends. They said, oh, I've heard about that. That's a very good microphone. So I said, okay, you know what? It's $50. Why not? Take a shot. So I get the thing here. It looks great. I love how it sits here. It's very close. I don't have to wear the ear things anymore that I use when I use Dragon. I'm thinking this is going to be wonderful. Except I'm not so sure it's wonderful. I'm still having issues where every once in a while I start a video because I've done some testing and I start a video and it all of a sudden says it can't hear me. It's much closer than the webcam. I'm not so sure, but I think that the timing is off between the video and the audio. I didn't have that with the webcam itself because they were both integrated within each other. I'm not so sure that I have this different sounding voice. I watched a couple of videos before I bought it, and the difference in the voice between, well, this exact same C310 Logitech webcam that I have and the microphone was wonderful. So I said, you know, I'd like a little bit more of that. You know, I want to sound a little bit more like James Earl Jones. I know some of y'all out there think I look like James Earl Jones. I don't see it, but I'd love to sound like him. So that's what I thought this would do. And I'm just not so sure. And it made me wonder, what is it about technology that it just has to mess with us? Everything looks great when you see it being used in a commercial or you see it in a magazine, you read about it. It all sounds good, and then you get home with something and you try to use it and it doesn't. For instance, let's talk about laptops. Laptops are a wonderful idea. The problem with laptops is they're all slow. I know people who will tell me their Apple laptops are fast, but you know what? Their regular computers are much faster. My regular computer is much faster, and it's about 6 years older than my laptop. My wife is always struggling with her laptop. Why is it so slow? Most people I know say the same thing. They're so slow. I bought a tablet. Love my tablet, but it's slow. It's faster than the laptop, which is really scary, but it's slow. I just don't get that. What is it about smartphones? You know, years ago I did a video where I talked about how the creation of smartphones is really sneaky because most of them are really only made to last 18 months at best. I have made mine stretch out 3 or 4 years. And I'm hoping I do that with my newest smartphone. But the thing is, I get a 9. The 10 comes out like a week after that, a week or two after that. But even the 9 isn't as great as the 5 was. Sure, it's got a lot of neat things that it can do, but I had better control over the 5. There were things that I could do on the 5 that suddenly someone decided with the 9, you know what, we're going to not let you do that anymore. So you can't make it this color, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. We'll give you this, but I don't know anyone who asked for that. That's the weirdest stuff that happens. A few years ago, my wife and I had to go out and buy a stove. And we get the thing home, and I left town because I was working out of town. And she calls me up and she says, this thing just started on its own. I don't know what that is. It turns out there's a thing that's called the Sabbath thing, where I guess Jewish people, because they fast on the Sabbath, they can put the food in the oven, and at a certain time the next day, it starts cooking, so that when the Sabbath ends, they have food. Well, we didn't know that was on there. Why would you just do something like that and not tell anybody? I know someone's going to say, why didn't you read the manual? It's a stove. You push the button, you turn on the top, you turn on the stove, you turn on the broiler. Who would think that you need to look for something like that? It just never occurred to us. You know, we're not like really young people. We're not really old either, but this is stuff that didn't exist before that now suddenly exists. And I'm betting most of you out there are going to sit there and say, wait, there is a setting on some stoves that will like start cooking food on its own or turn itself on without you doing it? Trust me. So it's just one of those weird things that I was thinking about and trying to figure out, how do we get around things like that? Well, y'all know that when my computer crashed, I decided not to put Windows 10 back on. I went back to Windows 7. And I haven't had many problems with it. It's been wonderful. You know what? I don't want to update something, I don't update it. That's what I hated about Windows 10 the most. Well, besides the fact that it wiped out my hard drive, but I hated it. But at some point, I know I'm going to have to upgrade to Windows 10. They're going to stop, taking care of Windows 7, and Windows 10 is just what I'm going to end up having to do. Luckily, I'm backing stuff up now on the cloud using my iDrive, which I believe I did a video of. But it's just this thing with technology. We really can't trust it. That's why I haven't done anything with virtual reality, which actually at the mall, I did decide one day, I stopped there, the young lady was really nice, and I said, okay, how does this thing work? And so she said, well, today we're offering you 2 virtual reality things for $5. I said, $5? Let's do this. And it was hard to see because I wear glasses. She said, well, you're going to need to be able to see stuff, so you have to keep your glasses on. But it wasn't wonderful. It was kind of interesting. They blow air on you. You sit in this thing, and it blew air on me, and it moved around. But I couldn't focus all that well on stuff. It was weird seeing people, like, just popping in on me or whatever. It's like, what the devil? Who's that guy? Or whatever. But if virtual reality is supposed to be the wave of the future, the present is not wonderful. It's just not. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you always looking at the newest technology and hoping it's going to be the best thing? Or do you actually sometimes find new technology and you say, wow, this is wonderful, this is great, I'm all for this? Let me know your thoughts. My name is Mitch Mitchell. Let me know what you think of my voice on this thing, the snowball. Y'all take care.